Donald Trump recently announced that the Environmental Protection Agency will be led by Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt. Now, this is a disturbing choice because Scott Pruitt isn't just a climate change denier, but he's also a literal shill for the fossil fuel industry. So according to The Intercept, Pruitt is a longtime ally of the oil and gas industry who has led litigation efforts to overturn the EPA's rules to address climate change. As a state attorney general, Pruitt was caught sending a letter to regulators that was drafted by lobbyists working for Devon Energy, a major drilling company. As Pruitt joined a lawsuit against rules opposed by the fracking industry, he simultaneously courted industry donors, including billionaire fracking executive Harold Hamm, who served as the co-chair of Pruitt's 2013 election campaign. Pruitt has questioned the role of man-made pollution in causing climate change, writing for the National Review this year that the debate is far from settled. That person will literally be leading an agency called the Environmental Protection Agency. And it's just factually incorrect to say that there's a debate in the first place. The overwhelming majority of climate scientists purport that climate change is in fact a reality, and yes, it is in fact anthropogenic. So it's just crazy to me that this guy will lead the EPA, because if you seemingly hate the environment, then why should it be his responsibility? Why should he be the head of the agency that is tasked with protecting the environment? If you don't like the environment, don't be in charge of this agency. But Donald Trump doesn't like the environment. He is in favor of big money. That's what Donald Trump cares about. He doesn't give a shit about the environment because Donald Trump will be dead and gone long when we really see the full scale of climate change consequences come to fruition. So Donald Trump doesn't care. He doesn't have to worry about that. Now, Trump's EPA team will also include George Sugiyama, who is a former lobbyist for the mining industry that denies man-made climate change. Also, David Kreutzer, who is an economist, think tank official, and research fellow at the Koch-funded Heritage Foundation that is vocally critical of regulations that would slow down climate change. And of course, there's Myron Ebel. He is on Trump's EPA transition team, and Myron Ebel is someone who is against reductions in greenhouse gas emissions, and he literally gets paid to perpetuate the lie that climate change is a hoax. So this is laughable. This is something that you see in a comedy movie. That's how ridiculous it is, but yet it's happening. This is a reality. Now, the scientific community has come out and unequivocally condemned this choice, obviously. So, according to The Independent, Dr. Rush Holt, the chief executive of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, compared disbelief in global warming to denying the existence of gravity. And the Sierra Club, which claims to be the largest grassroots environmental group in the U.S., with more than 2 million supporters, said the apparent decision to put Oklahoma State Attorney General Scott Pruitt in charge of the EPA was like putting an arsonist in charge of fighting fires. Yeah. That's basically what it comes down to. We have people who are taking over the one agency that is really supposed to protect the environment, who want to destroy the environment because they make millions of dollars to do that. And it's just sickening. So if there's anything that is clear, is that Donald Trump poses an existential threat to humanity. Because if you're not going to do anything about climate change, you're responsible, Donald Trump, for the rising sea levels, for the people who will die, for the desertification and ocean acidification, for the drought that will inevitably be caused by climate change. So here's what I want to stress. Since government is not going to do anything to mitigate climate change, it's time that we take it into our own hands. And there are things you can do. You have to, one, fight to reduce your own carbon footprint. You could join groups like the Sierra Club. And if you're outside of the United States, the UK, Germany, if you're in those countries, please pressure your government to be a leader, because the United States is a failure. So the rest of the world is going to have to move on without us, because Donald Trump has shown that he has contempt for the environment. By putting someone like Scott Pruitt in charge of the EPA, you have contempt for the environment. You don't like the environment. You don't care about the environment. You put profits over planet and people, and that's grotesque.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.